only being on the planet Earth that can do 10 different things at the same time, and they are still functioning well. Why would that leadership be restrained from them and kept just for a particular group of gender? It is time for us to break that barrier.
When we talk about migration, we consider policies, leadership, and how easily one can integrate into the society they join. Migration is all-encompassing, touching every aspect of life, and that's why on Across Borders, we are always eager to explore even the areas you might not be paying attention to. A very warm welcome to you this morning on Across Borders, the program where we discuss key developmental issues that impact each and every one of us. My name is Grace Komalafe. Today's topic is ethical leadership, women parity, and diplomacy beyond politics. To lead this conversation, we have a distinguished global leader whose influence spans diplomacy, academia, and humanitarian development. She's an apostle, an ambassador, and a professional. I am, of course, talking about Professor Florence Brooks. With a professional footprint across multiple countries, Professor Brooks is widely respected for championing ethical governance, women's empowerment, and transformational leadership. As an ambassador and bridge builder, she has strengthened cross-cultural partnerships and advanced inclusive development initiatives that impact countries worldwide. Combining scholarly insight with practical diplomacy, Professor Brooks continues to shape conversations around integrity, leadership, and sustainable global growth. Professor Florence Brooks, good morning. Good morning from New York. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. It's so cold and early in the morning. It's 4:15 around that time right now. 4:10 actually. Yeah, it's very cold.
All right, so we apologize for cutting short your sleep. I know that some will still be sleeping at this time. It's 4 a.m., just past 4 a.m. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you for giving us your time. So let's get started. Yes, let's get started. Today's topic is ethical leadership, women parity, and diplomacy beyond politics. However, I would like us to start with this conversation, and that has to do with leadership without borders. When we talk about leadership without borders, what does that mean in today's global climate?
Wonderful. First of all, before I will go into answering you, I want to first of all take this initiative to greet all our televiewers around the world that are connecting with us and your TV station that is making a difference around the globe. As you have said, my name is Professor Ambassador Florence Brooks, and I am honored to be here today and to share my thoughts on women across the border, diplomacy and leadership. As we all know, there is one thing I always say every time I have an opportunity to speak on the global network or whatever I say. I have said this time and again, a woman is not just a vessel. Listen to me, a woman is not just a vessel. And she's not just a vessel, but empowering a woman is empowering a generation. Like I define a woman as a force of nature to do what? And a catalyst for change and a beacon to hope for. She is a warrior. That's the acronym of a woman. She is a warrior. She is an organizer. She is a manager. She is an administrator and a negotiator. That is who a woman is all about. And so when you ask such a question, it is time for the world and the government to understand who a woman is. She's not just a vessel in the outward appearance that you look at her. She's more than that. She's a nurturer. She's a one that carries a womb, a one that has a breast that feeds multitude of people, and a womb that incubates the creation of God that is inside her. So once again, I'm very humbled to be on this television program this morning from New York at 4 a.m. and 10 o'clock in Nigeria. Let us dive in what we have on the table. God bless you all.
All right, thank you so much. So I'd like to take that first topic again. The first question again, I'd like to take that again. And that has to do with leadership. You know, talking about leadership without borders. When we talk about leadership without borders, what does it mean to you, especially in today's climate? What does leadership without borders mean in today's global climate?
Thank you so much for asking such a wonderful question. As I gave you the acronym of who a woman is all about, leadership without borders is simply saying that you cannot see certain people hold on a particular office. It is we are living in an arena or a society of today that women have understood their value and their position to come up and take their rightful place so as to make a difference. And in the time of old, they were limited in so many areas, but today there have been a lot of transformation. So we cannot have a leadership position only for the men, as gender will portray, but you can see that women are making greater impact in the world when you understand and you have a leader in an organization or in the government. You will see that they go beyond because of their nature and who they were made to be. They are multifaceted. They do terrible things and very wonderful things in different times, and you cannot compare. They are the only being, as I can say, the only being on the planet that can do 10 different things at the same time, and they are still functioning well. Why would that leadership be restrained from them and kept just for a particular group of gender? It is time for us to break that barrier. I don't know if I answer your question, but there's more for us to talk about.
Okay, so you have traveled far and wide from your experience in international engagements. Is it true that the world is currently experiencing a leadership trust deficit? If it is true, what's the way out?
Wonderful. Let me go into this. There is a question, one of the questions that you really asked, and I think that really touched my heart. If women are really enjoying the benefit as I've traveled, for one, there are always discrepancies. They are always looking at them as a vessel that do not have much to offer. But when you try and look at a woman, you understand who she is, who she's made of. There is more in her journey. There is more why she's existing. Her place is not just kept in the kitchen. Her place is not just kept to bring forth children. There is more in that. And that is why I advise, and as an educator, I encourage female children to be educated because they have a voice in our community and in our society today. But when they are not educated, they go with the mentality in the 1700 and in the 1800 and in the 1900. We are in the 21st century that a lot has revolved, a lot has happened, a lot of transformation. So it is high time for the government and the nation at large to take a rightful position and put women in position as just like men, because there is more in them. There is a lot that women can offer. Just seeing them as a domestic being, they are more than being a domestic in the professional level, in all that you can name it. They are always ready to take the lead because that is their nature that they have made. And I'm speaking this on my own set of life that I've been. I came to the United States as a young woman and I fought my way through because I figured I had a voice and I cannot be shut down, not because of my color, but there was something inside me that I'm supposed to give out so I can empower other women to understand their place and value in leadership.
All right, thank you so much. Actually, I wanted us to take care of the leadership aspect before we go into that of women, because I actually have specific questions relating to women. In a way, my answers have been tilted to women, women, women. I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about leadership in general. When we're talking about leadership, it could be, it's for both gender. Be you a male, a female, as a leader, how do you carry on? Do you understand? So I want to ask you now, in your view, I want to distinguish, ethical leadership from positional leadership. Ethical leadership, positional leadership. What's the difference? How do we know that this person, this one is actually being ethical? Why this one is really about the position? Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's talk about that. Be you a female, it just has to be a leader. Let's talk about the leader first.
Positioning leadership is about having the title or position of authority, if I understand you. That is what it is. Whereas ethical leadership is about the character and the values you bring to the role, to that role that you are holding. When you call yourself a position leadership, it focuses on the power and the prestige that comes with title. And we know that many people today hold on the title, but they cannot fulfill what that title is speaking all about. Ethical leadership prioritizes serving others, which I believe that is what the world is looking for today. If you say you are a minister of women affairs, if you say you are the minister of territorial administration, what are the things you are doing in the community that will help the nation at large? When you have a position, even let's say in a school campus as a principal or net or an assistant, what are the things or different organizations? So when you look at that perspective, you have the position leadership is titled, and then you have the ethical leadership that is talking of the rule that you bring on the table for us to do what is right and leading with integrity. So in a nutshell, I think that this position leadership is about just being a boss, and that has been a problem in our society today. Why ethical leadership is about being a servant leader, which I want us, this generation and the young people, to hold on to that, to know that even though they are pastors or they are president or they are queens or they are royalty, there is those are position leadership that holds on titles, that holds on titles. I am in charge, so do I say. But when you talk of ethical leadership, I am here to serve. Let's work together to achieve our goals as an ethical leadership for this season and time.
Thank you very much. I think I like the fact that you mentioned the servant leader, which means you are there to serve the people and not for your own personal goals. We've heard people
That's
talk about
position leadership.
living, yeah. So we've heard people talk about leaving their country because the country is not working, because of lack of stability. For one reason or the other, people just leave. I want to ask you this question. You've talked about ethical leadership. You've differentiated ethical leadership from positional leadership. Can ethical governance realistically reduce instability and even forced migration?
The answer is yes. Ethical governance can significantly reduce instability. That is correct. And force migration. When a leader prioritizes people well-being, transparency, accountability, it builds trust and stability. Yes? If you think about when we talk about the government, think about it. When a government are corrupt or self-serving, it's about them. It's about their family. It's about their little community or tribe. It can lead to inequality and poverty. Number one, it can lead to human rights abuses. Number two, it can lead to conflict and violence, which we see today. It can lead to displacement and, bow down to your question, migration. So ethical governance addresses this root cause by promoting fairness and justice, protecting human rights, fostering economic opportunity, building inclusive institution so that everyone can be in one accord. Not that some certain people have certain rights, some certain people, it's a problem. It is a problem. Like I will give you an example. In the case of Rwanda post-genocide recovery, shows how ethical leadership can rebuild a nation. We all know that. When you go to Costa Rica, focuses on sustainability and social welfare has made it a stable and happy nation. So coming back to our home, like Africa, this is some of the examples that they should practice in our country. You can look at Rwanda; it's really developed. So by prioritizing people over power, ethical governance can create more stable prosperity society, reducing the push and factors that will drive people to leave their home country that they say they are coming, let's say, to America or they are going to Europe. These are the few things I can tell you has been an issue, and I think it's time for these issues to be addressed.
All right, that's it. So now let's talk about the women thing. I must say that a lot has been said, or the conversation has actually still been on when it comes to women issue. There has been so much talk about inclusion. inclusion, inclusion, inclusion. So when it comes to cross-border diplomacy in decision-making spaces, where do this gender belong? I'm talking about the women. Are they well represented or underrepresented?
That's deep. That is so deep. Let me check my note because I think I saw something like that. Are women truly represented or they are not represented? I would say women are underrepresented. It's a serious factor in our world today, in our society. Are women truly underrepresented in cross-border diplomacy? Yes, women are underrepresented in our cross-border diplomacy. Despite their capability, despite what they carry inside them to do in the community, they often face cultural and societal barriers. That's one of the things I've noticed. For instance, if you look at the government today, you have only 14% of ambassador position globally where women are. What do we do with this? We need to address these disparities and create opportunity where women should participate in diplomacy. Now, as a woman, you can be a game changer. Why people don't understand, I, for one, I believe that they can be a great game changer in the international relationship as the world continues to evolve and move. I don't know if I answer your question, but I feel women are underrated or they are not in that position that they're supposed to see, that they are underrepresented as cross-border diplomacy is concerned.
Okay, yes, I understand, and that's well noted. I kind of do a bit of research so that I can have more of this information. While we say women are underrepresented, we still see some countries that, in a way, they are actually doing well. And so I want to share some data with you before we move into the next question. African women are increasingly participating on world stages in politics, in business, and even beyond. They are shattering barriers despite persistent gaps. The gaps are there, we understand. In parliamentary seats, Africa women average 25%. Rwanda topping globally with 61%, South Africa 47%, and of course, my dear country, Nigeria, 4%. So that's according to research. Now my question, when do we actually say parity achieved? Is it when every country hits 30%, 50% through balance, or when young women stop being 2.2% tokens? What number really means enough beyond the headlines? When exactly can we say we are there? We are now there. The inclusion is balanced. At what point?
I mean, with all the statistics that you have given to me, achieving the parity isn't just about hitting a specific percentage. I want to say this. There is more into that. It's not just to hit that percentage. It's about representation of equality and opportunities. I don't know if that's okay with you. Globally, women hold around 27% of parliamentary seats, with Africa averaging 25%. Some countries crushing it, like South Africa, they're 61, like you rightly said. Rwanda, over 60. Whole other, like Nigeria, which you've said, still have long way to go. So what can we do in this situation? You've asked a powerful question. The key parity benchmark on this, the 30% often considered as a critical mass for women representation, where they can start influencing policy decisions. 50% is the true parity, where women hold equal representation. Your question that you are asking is 30% is this. The answer is 100% fully equality, but let's be real, that's as long-term goal, because it cannot just happen like that. The real question is what magic number that means enough is what you are looking for. It's not about the number, it's about the equal opportunity. That's what I want to say. It's about the equal opportunity for education and career advancement. which some of those leaders, I will give you them. And I think that they have done a lot, like in Liberia, like in Mozambique, like in Rwanda itself, and even beyond borders, because we're not just dealing only with Africa. Number 2 point that I feel that your question, if you're asking about the number.
Let's take this last question. Diplomacy beyond politics. I mentioned earlier that you have served in ambassadorial and humanitarian capacity. I'm asking that how does humanitarian diplomacy differ from political diplomacy?
Thank you so much. I mean, first of all, humanitarian diplomacy is a different beast altogether on its own. We're dealing with humanity right here. Why political diplomacy focuses on the state interests. I don't know if I'm correct. That's what I understand. And in my own perspective, humanitarian diplomacy prioritizes in human well-being, which is where my heart goes. And I believe that that is what we are called to be and to do, well-being of human beings and their dignity. What are the differences, the key differences in these two, the humanitarian and the political? We focus on humanitarian diplomacy is alleviating the suffering. The world is suffering, protecting human rights, promoting humanitarian access, humanitarian accesses. Political diplomacy, on the other hand, it focuses just on the state and the security and the national agenda for inclusive in that little White House or that little black house or that little brown house. It's not global. And so the approach for me as a humanitarian leader, because I'm a certified humanitarian leader here in the US, a humanitarian diplomacy, what we normally tell people, we often try to encourage people to involve and get into NGOs, international organizations, like, and also local communities, so that we can bring the disparity of this person, you don't have this person, you don't have this, but can we all work collaboratively? That's what I believe. Political diplomacy can be more formal and state-centric, which it does not help the masses. And it's a problem. Now, what is the goal in the humanitarian diplomacy? Its aim is to serve. As I always said, it has to be about serving. When you even ask about the leadership of politics and also the leadership of the ethical, it's all about serving humanity, and reduce suffering and promote human dignity. Meanwhile, when you look at the political, it sticks and it seeks only advancement in national interest and try to resolve conflict. How does it benefit a lay person? How does it benefit a grassroots person? These are some of the things we need to look at. So when you think of it like this, political diplomacy is about negotiating treaties, while humanitarian diplomacy is about negotiating access to help people. I believe that in my understanding and my work in this opposition as a humanitarian leader, our goal is to coordinate 8 responsible or responses to natural disasters and conflict, like we have them here, like the Red Cross, and then advocating for refugees' rights and protection. We have all those years. I don't know how it is because I've left Africa for over 2 decades right now. Those are some of the things that humanitarian diplomacy does, and then above it all, facilitating access to healthcare and education in the crisis zone, like we have in north of Nigeria and other in Cameroon, where the problem are elevating, they are going higher and higher. What can we do? The humanitarian diplomacy should be increased as much higher than political diplomacy.
All right, thank you for that thought, for that insight. So we've talked about ethical leadership, we've talked about women, and of course, you've been able to speak to diplomacy beyond politics. So I would like us to wrap up with this question. If you were advising young women aspiring global leadership, what 3 principles must they embody?
My advice to the young women, that one is something I really like coin it, and I just want to read it the way I wrote it. I don't want to talk like giving you, I put it down, and I mean, when you did the introduction, I'm a woman that prays. And I'm like, Father, I'm coming to this meeting. I don't even know what they will be asking me, but I need to give a word to the generation of today that we are. my advice to all our young people is strictly on us and the world at large, and especially leadership, empowering the next generation. To all the young girls, women out there, you should remember one thing: you are made for more. Education is the key. So study hard and pursue your dream. You are a multitasker. You are an inventor and a leader. You are unique in your own way, unique in your strength, which will shape the future of our nation. As women, we are wired differently. We are not wired the same and like human beings, but we are wired differently. We can juggle multiple rules, responsibility, and ease. Nothing will stop us. Imagine what you can achieve in leadership position when you are given that position and you have been educated. You can transform our community, nation, and worldwide. So I believe in you and you believe in yourself. I encourage each and every one listening to this program. We should support one another and never give up. You are capable for greatness. Just like you have some example of some aspiring women in this team. You have Dr. Mae Jemison, the first African American woman in space. You have Dr. Waringa Mathia, Nobel Peace Prize for environmentalists. You have Dr. Cynthia, a climate scientist and NASA researcher. These are the kind of women we are looking for, our young girls and women who are still asking questions. Do I have a voice? Do I have a place in the leadership? And this is my quote I will leave for you all. A woman is a force of nature, powerful, resilient, and unstoppable. Believe in yourself and your potential, and you will break forth. As Dr. Brooks has not given up in her life, the struggle, you too can do more than that. Take time and study who you are made up of, and don't give up and don't say no. I can't stand maybe my height, maybe my voice, maybe it has nothing to do with any of those. You are a trailblazer for breaking grounds and making a difference. Take hold your decision. Take hold what God has put in you. Take hold what you see yourself to do. And I say this time and again, every time you wake up and you do something without stress, know that that is your gifting. There is not much I can tell you, but I want to tell you, you are made for more, and this is your time. Rise up and take your rightful position on this planet that we all are living. God bless you all.
Thank you so much for that words of wisdom. Thank you for that inspiration. Yes, so I appreciate you. I want to say thank you for your time. You've been able to contribute a lot. Tell us your thoughts about ethical leadership, women parity, and of course, you've been able to speak to diplomacy beyond politics. And we are saying thank you for your time. Thank you for cutting your sleep.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes, and that's it. So we'll be bringing the program to a close for today. This is Across Borders. We want to say thank you to everyone, as we hope this conversation on ethical leadership, women parity, and diplomacy beyond politics has inspired you and offered fresh perspective on leadership, integrity, and global collaboration. A special thanks to you again, Professor Florence Brooks, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. Remember, migration, leadership, and development touch all our lives. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. And don't forget to follow us via all our social media platforms at Soup News TV. I am Grace Komolafe. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Across Borders.